Okay, everyone, so now let's go and try to maximize the use of GIMP in cropping our image, the image that I showed you here. And let's go and try to open our image. So one way of doing this, everyone, will be to go to the directory from where you have the image, and then you can actually open the image by dragging and dropping it here. So now we have our image in our GIMP application. The next thing that I want to do here is to go to the layers dialog box. And normally we can go and create a duplicate of this. So at least we'll have a backup. So what I can do here, I can use the tooltip here, create a duplicate of the layer and add it to the image. So instead of using the duplicate layer here, you would see if I do that, we can also create a duplicate layer here in the layer dialog box. And you can also delete this by dragging the file here. You would see I was able to delete the file. So those are just some options, everyone. So you can drag and drop some of the images that you're working on. So again, the same effect will be happening if I go and use this create a duplicate of the layer and add it to the image command tool here at the bottom part of the dialog box of the layers tab here. So now we have our RAW image here. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hide this original copy. Then I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to add an alpha channel that will be adding a transparency information to the layer. So I've already added an alpha channel. If you're wondering what an alpha channel is, this will be allowing us to, let's look at the channels dialog box here. We have red, green, blue, alpha, and the alpha channel is used for transparency. So we would want to create a circular image and we would want some parts of the image that is here in front of us to be transparent. So that will just be essentially turning the background color of your background here transparent instead of using the background color that we have selected here in our tool dialog box. Okay, so we can see here we have a lot of tools here. So our tools dialog box. Now let's go to our layers tab here and then go to our ellipse select tool, and you will see here once you select that, we will have our tool options available here. Just make sure that we check the mode here that says replace the current selection. And then we have some options here, anti-aliasing, which just makes sure that the edges of your picture will be crisp and clean versus jagged. So if you select the feather edges here, you have an option to increase the radius, which will be allowing you to blur the edges of your circle. And usually this helps in blending your picture into the background. So it will be allowing your picture to fade into the background a little bit better. And we also have the expand from center option here. So you would see here if I go and click on our image, the image is starting from the center. Okay, once I'm dragging it, I click my left mouse button and deselect, you would see it started from the center. However, if I unclick this, okay, let me just select none and try to do the selection, you would see that it's starting from the upper left corner of the screen, right? So, and I can drag it this way. That's the purpose of the expand from center option here. So again, let's just go to select none here. So just make sure that you have selected this. And now we have our fixed aspect ratio option here, which will be specifying the width and height or size of our image here of our circle. So if I click on that, you will see that 1:1 is the width and the height value. So if we go and drag this, it will be creating a perfect circle for us. So you will see it's creating a perfect circle for us, right? And if I go and try to change the aspect ratio, let me just go and select none, and I go and try to put to here, you would see that the height is bigger than the width once I'm selecting it. So that's the purpose of this. So let's go back to 1:1. So at least it will be creating a perfect circle for us. Then I'm going to select from the center part, and then I'm going to create a circle. And now we can see here that once we have selected our image here, we also see some options here like the position. We can specify the position, the size of the image, and we also have the highlight option here that provides us with guides when we are creating the circle. And you can also choose on whether there will be certain guides, and right now we are using the center line option here just so that it will be a lot easier for us to identify the center line of the image. But we also have an options here or other options here like rule of thirds, which is a photography principle. We have rule of fifth, we have golden sections, we have diagonal lines, and so those are some options that you can use for guide. But let me just go and choose the center guide here, and I don't want the highlight option there. So now you would see here what we call the marching ants, which is identifying the selected area. You will see that there are some dashes around the circle. So now if we go and click and inside of that specific area, we can click and drag the selected area here so that we can move it around. Okay, so I'm clicking and then dragging, and then once I released, and there we go. So we can also actually increase this also depending on how big you want the circle to be using the boxes here. Let me just, now we can go and try to select our active layer here, and then go look for our alignment tool. So you would see that, just check here. We have some square boxes here. You would know that this is the active layer. You would see there's the square boxes. And what we want to do here is to set the relative to selection option, and then choose the align center of target. So at least we can make sure that it's centered. So obviously this will be only working if the image is actually centered, or the picture in the image is centered, okay? But that's how we can go and maximize the use of the align tool here so that we can go and align the selection that we have to our image, or we will be aligning the selection relative to the image layer that we have selected. Okay, so now what we want to do here is to select and invert. We can use the Control plus I. Now you would see here, if we go and press on the delete key, we were now able to go and delete the background outside of the selection that we've made. Now the only thing that we want to do here is to go and try to have the excess part cropped. So let's just go and press on Control plus Shift plus A. Let me just select here Control plus Shift plus A, and that will be the selecting all of the selection. So you can actually also use the option here under the Select tab, None. And now we can go to the Image tab here, and then crop to content. Now we have the image cropped to the main content. And the last thing that we would want to do here is to go and export this as a PNG file. This is the file format that will be allowing us to have no background. So I'm here at our HTML portfolio images. I'm just going to name this rod image circle and replace the PNG file format here. You can actually see here, select file types by extension. So you have some options here. PNG, you can actually choose PNG here. but you can just go and type the file name that you want to export the file into. So we now have a file PNG image here, and export this. Export. Now we have our PNG file image in our, let me just open our directory. You would see here now that we have our image with a circle. We have now made our image here a circle instead of a box. Now we can go back to our project. Let me just open our Visual Studio Code. Now instead of using the image that we have here, let's look into our code for our image. So images, rod image. Instead of this, let's go and change this to images, rod image circle PNG. Let me save that. So let me just open here. So this is the first version. You would see that it's not in a circle. Now let's try to refresh this. And now we were able to remove the excess white area at the bottom part of our necktie here. So now we have created our image that is composed of a circle. That is a circle instead of a box. So I'm hoping that this helped you guys out with regards to maximizing the use of GIMP, creating circular images that you can go and maximize and use in your future projects. So that will be all for this lesson, everyone. So thank you and see you on our next lesson.